Hi, this is Unit 5, Day 4 homework in Mathspace, and I'm going to try to do a couple of the questions here and see if I can get Mathspace to respond to me the way I want it to. Hopefully it's the same exact numbers that you had in your Mathspace assignment. If it's not the same exact numbers, it should be the same idea. So we're going to look first at number 4. I'm going to try a question and see if it will let me try the question. All right, so I have this graph that is showing me two boundary lines in a shaded area. So I need to figure out the system of inequalities that is being represented here. So I'm going to try to use a stylus and see if I can. Okay, I'm going to define this dashed line right here. It's a horizontal line, so I know it's going to be a Hoy line. If it were just a line, it would be y equals some number. It's an inequality, though, because I've got shading. So I'm going to start with, if it were a line, it would be y equals -2. So I need to now figure out what symbol I need to put in here. I can see that as y is getting bigger, I'm shading. So it should be y is greater than -2. So just as a quick test, 0, 0 is shaded. So 0, 0 should be true in my inequality statement. So if I test 0, 0, my y value is 0. 0 is greater than -2. That's true. So that should be correct for that one. And then let's look at the other dashy line right here. And that's a Vux line, right? Because it's vertical. So it's a VUX line. And so I know the x value would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So x would be equal to 5 if it were just a line. I'm shading everything smaller than 5, so I'm going to say x is less than 5. And just to be sure I chose the correct direction, I'm going to test 0, 0. Okay, so here's my 0, 0 that is shaded, so it should be true. So I put in my x value of 0. 0 is less than 5, and that's true. So that should be correct. So let's see if we can find these two inequality statements as options down in our problem. I'm going to erase the other stuff because when I scroll, it's going to be weird. All right, so if I scroll up, I'm looking for x is less than 5, y is greater than -2. X is less than 5, y is greater. It looks like it's that one. So I'm going to submit. Yay, correct option was C. All right, so let's look at number 5 after I erase everything. Okay, so here I am getting ready to try question 5. And again, your numbers might have been different, but it should be the same idea for your question. So, let's see if I can make this so that you can see the question. Hang on. I know it works better on a bigger screen. Thanks, Mathspace. I'm going to pause for a sec. Okay, so this is number 5, and you can't quite read that, but it says sketch a graph of the system of inequalities. And so we are going to do that. We have x is less than or equal to -4, and y is greater than or equal to -5. So I'm going to write those just so you can see what we're working with. Maybe I've lost my mouse. Hold on. I've completely lost my cursor. Okay, there it is. All right, so I'm just going to write down those two pieces of information that we have. We know x is less than or equal to -4, y is greater than or equal to -5. Okay, so I'm going to use Mathspace to manipulate this line, I hope. And let's see, they're both going to be solid lines. So I know it's x is less than or equal to -4. It's a vertical line at -4. So I'm going to come over here and put one of these at -4 and the other at -4. It needs to be a solid line. So I'm going to click down here at Mathspace's info and do solid line. Now I need to shade all of the things that are less than or equal to -4. So I'm going to shade to the left of my line. Nope. To the left of my line. So sometimes I have trouble finding my shading. If I'm on U, I want you to shade to the left. Okay, so I expanded it a little so that I can see some shading, and I do want this to be shading to the left, and so now I'm shading to the left of my vertical line. Okay, I need another line. It's a Hoy line at y is greater than or equal to -5. So I'm going to come down here and make one point at -5 and another point somewhere at -5. Okay, if y is greater than or equal to -5, then I need to shade above it. So let's see if I can, oops, wrong guy. There. So I'm shading above, and the trick with Mathspace is always trying to get it, I'm needing to be shading above and to the left. Well, nope. I definitely want it above. Definitely want this guy to the left. There it goes. Okay, so I am shading x is less than or equal to -4. Right, because there's my Vux line, I'm going smaller, and y is greater than or equal to -5. That is my y is greater than or equal to -5 line. They're both solid lines, and let's see if we can submit that. All right, so admittedly, Mathspace is a little bit of a challenge as you're trying to figure out how to shade. So let's look at number 9. All right, so number 9, it says, select the set of inequalities that describes the shaded region. So that's the words that you can't quite read up at the top here. So we're going to figure out what are the inequalities that describe the shaded region. So here's the thing. I see 3 lines, right? This dashy horizontal line, I see this diagonal line, and I see a vertical line. I don't care about that dashy horizontal line at all. I don't think. So the things I'm really going to concentrate on are, all right, so let's take a look here at what we want to evaluate. So we have a Vux line, and we have a Hoy line, and then we have something with a negative slope. So I'm going to, the Vux, x is at -1, and I'm shading things that are less than that. My Hoy line, I can see that y is at -1, and I'm shading stuff above it. But the thing is it's not really shading all of that. It has to be even higher up than that. So we're going to keep that on hold for a moment, and then we're going to look at this diagonal line. Okay, so to do that, I need my b value, and I'm crossing at 1, 2, so b is 2. And I have a negative slope, and my negative slope is, I need to erase just so I can see what's crossing where. I am coming down 1, 2, and going over 1, 2, so it looks like it's just -1. So as a line, it would be y equals -x plus 2. I am shading all the stuff above it, above the line, so it should be greater than or equal to. It's solid, so I get greater than or equal to. Let's just do a quick test point here. We're going to test 0, 0. This should be false, right? Because it is not shaded, so I'm hoping that this is false. 0 is greater than or equal to 2. That is false. And that's what I expected, right? Because I didn't want 0, 0 to be true. So that means I have chosen correctly. So x is less than -1, y is greater than -1, and y is greater than or equal to -x plus 2. Let's take a quick look and see if we can select those on our answers down here. I have x is less than -1, y is greater than -1. Oops, it's not this one because that would need to be y is greater than or equal to. So x is, nope, it's not that. X is less than -1, y is greater than -1. So far so good. Y is, it needs to be greater than or equal to. X is less than -1. Y is greater than -1, and y is greater than or equal to -x plus 2. Let's try that and submit. And good, we got it. Great. I hope that helped.